Hi, children. Good morning. Today, let's look at the explanation part of a legend of the Northland. In the last class, I asked you to read the poem. Actually, I read it loud, and then I asked you to read out this poem, underlining the new words wherever you come across. I hope you have done it. Now, look at the explanation part of this poem, A Legend of the Northland. This poem narrates the legend of an old lady who angers Saint Peter because of her greed. So now let's know who is Saint Peter. He is one of the 12 main disciples of Jesus Christ. He went around the world and preached the teachings of Jesus Christ. He tried to propagate the teachings of Jesus Christ. And in when he was doing like that, when he was going round that in the Northland, that means towards the northern pole, he encountered a very strange experience. Let's discuss in this poem what's that strange experience. This poem is written by Phoebe Carey, and let's look at the glossary once, children, before going into the poem. Legend. Actually, it is said that it's a legend of an old lady. What do you mean by legend? An old traditional story of a hero or a warrior. Actually, this is called a legend. Who is Saint Peter, an apostle of Christ? I told you that Christ had 12 apostles, 12 main disciples. This Saint Peter is one of those 12. Here, provoke. Provoke means make someone angry. These are the things, and actually, this is a ballad. This poem given to us, it is a ballad. Then let's know what's a ballad. Ballad is a song narrating a story in short stanzas. Ballads are a part of folk culture or popular culture and are passed on orally from one generation to the next. A legend of the Northland is a ballad. These are the songs sung by the folklore, and they are not actually written at the time, they were passed from generation to generation. Now, let's look at the summary of this poem, A Legend of the Northland. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. See, Northland means towards the North Pole, children. The countries like Norway, Denmark, all these countries which are near to the North Pole. In that one of those countries, away in the Northland means here particular country is not mentioned. Maybe one of those countries near the North Pole, where the hours of the day are few. Actually, you all know that towards the pole, we have extreme conditions, weather conditions. Like in summer, the sun shines up to 8, 9 in the night, and in winter, it gets dark by 3 or 4 o'clock, like that in the evening. And the sun appears only after 9 or 10 in the morning. That means long duration nights they have, where the hours of the day are few and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. That they cannot sleep them through. They means here the people who are living in those places cannot sleep them through. That means throughout the night. Generally, we sleep throughout the night. Maybe more part of the night we spend sleeping, but there as the night is more than 18 hours, 16 hours, more than like that, they cannot sleep throughout the night. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bear cubs in their funny furry clothes. So they tame these reindeer, an animal found in those areas, and sledges means like a small carts where they are dragged by these reindeers when it snows. That means when the land is covered with the ground is covered with snow, they use these sledges which are drawn by reindeer. And how the children look like there, and the children look like bear cubs. They look like the small baby cubs, baby bears. and their funny furry clothes. Actually, they made clothes from the wool taken collected from bears, polar bears. So these children look like the cubs of such polar bears. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. Tale means a story. Tale. Tale, tale, pronounced as just Tail. They tell them a curious story. They means here again who? People living in the Northland, those countries. They tell them. They means here the elders. Them means small children. A curious story. I don't believe it's true. It is true. It's given like this. That means it is short form. It is contracted because to follow that rhyming scheme of that poem or whatever the meter, to follow that meter, it is contracted like that. And yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. There, elders tell a story to those small children. The poet says that I don't believe it, but definitely it may help you, it may teach you a lesson. So, what lesson can we learn from this story? Let us see, children. Once, when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching just as he did, you know. World below means towards the south. And now he is moving in the north land towards the north pole. Where below means when he is in the southern part of the globe. Lived in the world below and walked about it, preaching just as he did, you know. So, what was his duty? What was his actual activity? He was preaching the whatever the teachings of Jesus Christ. So he was roaming all around the world. Thus he reached that northland once. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth, surface of the fireplace, like hearth, where the things are baked by people in those areas. So, while moving like that, he approached a cottage where a little woman was making cakes. She was making cakes for the day, for their dinner, supper, for their meals. And being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. So he was very hungry, this Saint Peter, because he was moving all the day, and the day was about to end. Almost the night is falling, and the dark is about to fall, and he was very hungry. So he asked. He went to the cottage. There, a woman was making cakes. So he asked her to give him one piece of cake, one piece. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, as it was there on the hearth baking, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. This he was Saint Peter, a very great person, direct disciple of Jesus Christ, like our Swami Vivekananda, who was the direct disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. This Saint Peter was also like that. He went there and asked that woman to give him one piece of cake, but yes, she accepted and she started baking a cake for him. But after the cake was baked, she thought, "Array, it's a too big cake. Why should I give it to him?" Like that, she thought. Therefore, she needed another need. That means she prepared another stuff, another the cake, and still a smaller one. So she needed that dough, what she is using. She made a smaller cake, but it looked when she turned it over as large as the first had done. She thought, okay, why should I give this much cake to him? Let's prepare a small one. But when she prepared another one again, it looked like the size of the earlier one. Then she took a tiny scrap of dough. Dough means that flour, wheat flour, used to make these cakes or whatever the flour they use. Then she took a tiny scrap, means a very small amount of dough, and rolled it flat and baked it thin as a wafer, but she couldn't part with that. Part with means to leave, to abandon. Odulkodam, to part with. Again, okay, she took a very small amount of dough and made a very thin cake, but even that she was not ready to give to this that Saint Peter. For she said, "My cakes that seem too small when I eat of them myself, and yet too large to give away." So she put them on the shelf. Generally, this is very quite common with human beings, with people nowadays, children. When you do something for yourself, you think that is very important. But when you are asked to do the same thing for somebody else, you think, oh, how boring it is. It's very difficult. How can one person do it? How can human beings do that? Like that, we think. First, she said, "My cakes that seem too small when I eat of them myself are yet too large to give away." So she put them on the shelf. She didn't want to part with them because she made those cakes with dough. I mean, which she earned. So she did not want to give that cake, even a small cake, to Saint Peter. Then good Saint Peter grew angry. See, for example, he is actually a saint. Saints should not grow angry. But the behavior of that woman made him grow angry, for he was hungry and faint. The very problem is hunger. Because when you are hungry, your patience will be lost. You cannot be cool. You cannot keep your cool. You cannot remain calm. Because that hunger makes you like that. It irritates you. And surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. To provoke means make somebody angry. Rechagotatam in Telugu we say. So when such a behavior, she would behave like that, this Saint Peter also grew angry. And he said, "You are far too selfish to dwell in a human form, to have both food and shelter and fire to keep you warm. Stupid lady, you are far too selfish. How selfish you are to dwell in a human form." Dwell means to live in a human form, like a human being you are living now, but you are too selfish to have both food and shelter. So you should not have food and shelter now onwards, and fire to keep you warm. All these luxuries, comforts you should not have. He said, "Now you shall build as the birds do, and shall get your scanty food by boring and boring and boring all day in the hard, dry wood." He said, "Okay, now you are not at all eligible to remain as a human being and enjoy all the comforts which human beings enjoy." He said like that. So you become a bird. Curse, curse. He cursed her. Curse అంటే శాపం. శపించాడు, శాపం పెట్టాడు ఆమెకి. ఏమని శాపం పెట్టాడు? "You shall build as the birds do, and shall get your scanty food," means very small amount, by boring and boring and boring. Drilling. Boring means drilling. What? Drilling what? Drilling a tree, wood, strong wood, dry wood, he was telling. Then up she went through the chimney, never speaking a word, and out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. So when Saint Peter cursed that lady like that, immediately she became like a woodpecker and flew away through the chimney of the house. Then what happened? She had a scarlet cap on her head, and that was left the same. Scarlet means red, a type of red color cap was there when she was a human being. Now, still it is continued, but all the rest of her clothes were burned black as a coal in the flame. Okay, so that woman used to have a cover, red color cover on her head that was left a scarlet cap on her head, and the remaining all her clothes were burnt. And every country school boy has seen her in the wood. You might also have seen that woodpeckers boring the trees. Where she lives in the trees till this very day, boring and boring for food. So that Saint Peter cursed that old woman to become a bird, and she became a woodpecker and flew away. So this is known by every school boy. It is told, a very famous one. So here, children, look at the rhyming scheme. I think I already, not I think, I already explained you how to identify the rhyming scheme. Take any stanza. Let's look at the last verse of each line in the stanza. Now you shall build as the birds do, last word is do, and shall get your scanty food. Do, food, not rhyming. By boring and boring and boring, all day in the hard dry wood. Food, wood. So here rhyming is there. So the rhyming we can say A, B, C, B. So first line A, do. Second line is not rhyming with it. Boring, it's also not rhyming with any other line. All day in the hard dry wood. Food, wood. Take any stanza. See here. Form, warm. Faint, saint. Myself, shelf. Flat, that. Like this rhyming scheme, you can identify, children. Try to read it once again. Then I'll post the notes for this. Then you can start writing it in the fair notes. Hope you all completed the notes for the previous lesson. Okay, children.